This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Dense holes, crushed windshields. Tens of thousands of people in Manitoba are dealing with damage from the storm. The sheer volume forcing Manitoba Public Insurance to set up a dedicated hail center to help teams assess hundreds of cars a day, leaving auto body shops across the city buckling up for a busy few months. CBC's Matt Humphrey has more.
Walk by and go, oh, there's another one. Mark it off.
This may just look like colored marker all over a car hood, but Dan Roller sees widespread hail damage.
The amount of phone calls we're getting, I could see this getting into till the end of the year for sure. We'll be doing hail claims. Hey, how's it going?
Inheriting Penner Auto Body from his father, Roller worked through the massive hailstorm in '96 and the one in 2023, but he's never seen anything like this.
Quite a few calls coming in per day. We're trying to keep track of them all right now, just putting them in order.
Manitoba Public Insurance, meanwhile, is doing the same thing on a much larger scale. The Crown Insurer has set up a dedicated hail center with a target of 300 assessments a day.
The numbers have been larger than anything we've seen in our history. Right now we're at about 22,000 claims, and for perspective, a large hail claim in Manitoba, a large hailstorm, is usually around 7,000 or 8,000 claims.
VP of Claims John Bowering says the center is a well-oiled machine, with customers rolling through for a quick 15-minute assessment.
It's pretty convenient. I found it very easy to log in, and I did mine online and got my report back for a couple of days for an appointment, actually.
On June 9th, Winnipeg was hammered with hail, some bigger than golf balls.
A new thing that we brought in for this storm was an online booking tool, and we have several thousand appointments in the system over the next few months.
Andy says it's still too early to tell what impact the storm might have on MPI ratepayers.
Bowering says the storm was odd because it hit most of the city all at once. And the wind was so fierce, many of the vehicles only have a few dents on the roof, but then dozens on the sides of the vehicle. He says he wouldn't be surprised if he saw more than 30,000 claims by the time this is all over. Matt Humphrey, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Meantime, the rural areas northwest of Winnipeg are still facing major impacts from the flooding. Farmers are calling on the province to do more to help now and protect them in the future. And the community of Grosse Isle has been hosting information sessions to help residents get the resources they need. CBC's Mike Arsenault is live in Grosse Isle and joins us now. So Mike, what kind of help is available?
Yeah, Brittany, as you said, I am in Grosse Isle, and just down the road at the Grosse Isle Community Center, there are multiple tables set up with information and support for people who have been impacted by the flooding. The province's disaster financial assistance team is there answering questions about the insurance claims process. Manitoba health inspectors are there giving guidance on safety during home cleanup. There's also mental health services to help people work through the emotional toll the flooding can have. Earlier, I spoke with Donna Ridgway. She considers herself lucky because there was minimal damage to her home, but she had some concerns about her drinking water.
We do have our own well, one that serves our house, and the municipality encouraged people to take advantage of getting water samples done. So I was wanting to speak to them about getting that done so we know that we're safe to continue to drink our water.
So Mike, we know people's homes were severely impacted, but what about farmers in that area?
Yeah, Brittany, ag producers are calling on the province to do more now to protect them in the future. Some of them gathered today saying thousands of acres of crops are still underwater. They say some have lost millions due to the flooding. They're asking for more clarity on the supports coming from the province and want to see improvements to the drainage system in the area, specifically the Sturgeon Creek watershed.
You see now it's affecting communities. The town of Warren, lots of flooding. The town of Grosse Isle, lots of flooding. All of that water ends up in the Sturgeon Creek watershed. And so now it's not just farmland. Something needs to be done to figure out a way to move this water faster.
Ag producers would also like to see the province use the portage diversion to take pressure off of the area. They say taking a proactive approach now would save the province hundreds of millions of dollars in the long run. Brittany?
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Mike Arsenault. Well, coverage details are still being worked out by the province. Those who previously purchased pricey insurance premiums or were forced to pay out of pocket in the past say it's unfair the province is picking up the tab this time. CBC's Christopher Garreau reports.
When heavy rain flooded communities throughout Manitoba this month, Premier Wab Kinew said climate change means rules need to change, saying residents who didn't buy flood insurance can still qualify for disaster financial assistance.
I want to be very clear, no one in rural Manitoba is going to be left behind. Your provincial government is going to make sure that there are the resources to help you clean up, to rebuild, and to recover from these terrible storms that we've been seeing recently.
People in Steinbach are wondering what makes them different. Over 2 months of rain fell in just a few hours last September. The province says it was insurable, so couldn't qualify for financial assistance. City Council is asking the province to reconsider. A similar once-in-a-century storm hit almost exactly a year earlier. Steinbach councillor Susan Penner says she and her neighbors weren't covered because last September's rain was 5 days short of a year after the last flood.
I know there's lots of people in our neighborhood who just simply have not finished their basements as a result. I mean, we have some neighbors, they're a couple well into their 70s. They've had to cash out RSPs, their retirement, to pay for the cleanups.
Mayor Earl Funk says the province's assertion that the damage wasn't widespread in Steinbach doesn't hold water.
When you look at how many people are affected, yes, it is widespread. Because the sheer number of it, right? There is millions and millions of dollars of damage, because there is so many lots that are so close together.
Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Steinbach.
Premier Wab Kinew is casting doubt the province will approve the latest license request by CO Silica. As CBC's Bartlett Kivas reports, the Premier says he can't separate the license approval process from an upcoming public inquiry.
Mining company CO Silica wants to remove sand from below the surface of the arm of Springfield. The NDP government rejected CO's initial request for an environmental license in 2024. The company came back last year with a second application. Premier Wab Kinew is now casting doubt on approving this second sand mining proposal. In an interview this morning on CJOB, he said you can't separate this second license approval process from the public inquiry he's called into efforts to push through the first license. In 2023, after Heather Stephenson's PCs lost power, she and two of her cabinet ministers tried to speed approval of CO Silica's license, violating the caretaker convention governing the transfer of power to the NDP. CO Silica says it welcomes the inquiry.
We're confident that it's going to expose that CO was a victim.
CO Silica's president says this inquiry can run parallel to the license approval process.
We hope that the process runs fairly and that a decision is made based on the science and the engineering.
A spokesperson for the Premier said the license approval decision will be based on science and promised more details about the public inquiry soon. Kinew made his comments today in response to an announcement from Prime Minister Mark Carney, who welcomed a partnership between CO Silica and a German solar panel manufacturer. This MLA, who represents Springfield, nonetheless wishes the feds would stay out of his sandbox.
They don't even know the full scope of things, and they seem to be recklessly committing to things that they have no clue about.
CO Silica says the Carney statement means the Prime Minister supports the company. A Liberal government spokesperson says that's not the case, and approving the license is Manitoba's decision alone. Bartlett Kivas, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, let's bring Riley in now. And Riley, it looks like you are tracking a bit of a system there, but nothing like those storms that we saw a week and a half ago.
Yeah, certainly not, Brittany. This is more isolated, more scattered in nature. Pretty much a carbon copy of what we saw yesterday across parts of southern Manitoba. I mean, not as far east as things yesterday, but a few lightning strikes, particularly along and close to the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border through the afternoon hours. Again, looking at pretty minimal accumulations, but in a region that doesn't necessarily really need any more precipitation. There is some drier air on the way, but you can see some of this stretching all the way back into Saskatchewan. This will all have to kind of push its way through before we get into some of that drier air. This is all the result of an area of low pressure that's still stalled out into northeastern parts of the province that will continue to give us some scattered showers pretty much province-wide as we get through the next day or day and a half or so. Temperatures a bit cooler again today, 19s through Winnipeg, Portage, Brandon into Morden, Winkler, 18 in Dauphin, 13 through the afternoon in Thompson. Looking at temperatures dropping to around 10 degrees through much of southern Manitoba. The cloud builds back in. We start to get under a few showers as we get through the day, so prepare for something a bit drearier as we get through the day tomorrow, Brittany, with the risk of an isolated thunderstorm. The details just ahead.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Trying to protect some of the city's most vulnerable from a deadly infection. What outreach groups are doing to stop the spread of hepatitis A. That's next. Outreach organizations in Winnipeg are trying to protect some of the city's most vulnerable from a deadly infection. Hepatitis A cases are still growing a year after an outbreak was first declared in Manitoba. As the CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco shows us, staff at some organizations are getting vaccinated to stop the spread among people experiencing homelessness.
It's a highly contagious virus that public health says it's largely spreading in Winnipeg among those experiencing homelessness.
Public health nurses actually just set themselves up right here at this table.
Now, organizations working to support them are trying to help, holding hepatitis A vaccine clinics for staff and clients.
I think it's incumbent on all of us to do what we can to prevent the spread of that disease and to stomp it out if we can.
Manitoba has been dealing with a deadly outbreak of the liver infection for over a year. In response, the province widened eligibility for who can get immunized. Staff at community-based organizations working with people experiencing homelessness joined that list in May. And this week at StreetLinks, 6 workers, including Michelle Wesley, rolled their sleeves to get a shot.
I've never seen us actually have an outbreak as what we've had in the past month. We really noticed a lot more clients coming back for positive for Hep A.
StreetLinks is vaccinating its staff so they don't contract the virus, but mainly to prevent their members from spreading hepatitis A to the encampments, social housing, and shelters they work at. Conditions on those spaces are favorable for transmission.
Where do we see those higher risk in congregate settings and areas where hand hygiene is a bit more a challenge? We see it in, amongst the homeless population.
This sexual wellness lodge working with the unhoused is also doing its part. 15 to 20 workers are vaccinated against hepatitis A.
Keeping everybody healthy and safe, not just staff, but people who come in as well. It goes both ways, right? Neither party wants to pass on anything to the other.
Just behind me, the North End Women's Center is also holding a vaccine clinic next week. They are at least the third outreach organization in Winnipeg doing so, offering staff a single dose to protect themselves and some of the city's most vulnerable. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A 23-year-old man has been charged with sexual assault after an incident late Sunday night. Police say a man started talking to a woman in the 3900 block of Portage Avenue. Then he started to hug and kiss her. She broke free and ran onto a parked Winnipeg transit bus. Investigators say the man followed and sexually assaulted her while next to her on the bus. Passengers stepped in to stop him, and he was later arrested. The province has put Hanover School Division on notice. It comes after its board passed a declaration saying mature minors can no longer make their own health decisions without their parents' consent. The move flies in the face of current Manitoba laws. CBC's Christopher Garreau has that story.
Hanover School Division trustees have passed a directive stating that parents are the primary healthcare providers for their children, and stating that the mature minor category will not be honored in any of their buildings. That's despite Manitoba law stating that anyone over the age of 16 can make their own healthcare decisions. The new rule caught the attention of the Education Minister. Tracy Schmidt met with the full Board of Trustees Monday.
I don't think I could say the province has a position on this yet, but that we're committed to working with the Hanover School Division, with the clinicians in Hanover School Division, to make sure that that all students have access to the health services that they need.
Hanover Board Chair Dallas Weeb said in an email, a policy was needed because the board has heard concerns from parents regarding trust, communication, and transparency, and believes these principles are important to maintaining public confidence in education. In 2024, the province appointed Special Advisor Kelly Barkman for Hanover to create a safe, inclusive school environment, after parent group Hanover Parent Alliance for Diversity called for 6 trustees to resign. The advisor's contract ran out early this year without any report or documentation on what he did. Now the alliance is calling for provincial intervention again. CBC News has agreed not to identify the spokesperson due to fears that speaking out could lead to harassment and threats for her and her child, who attends school in the division.
We believe that in the absence of any real oversight and consequences for questionable actions and decisions, that the questionable actions and decisions of the board have accelerated.
Board trustees also passed a new responsible use of educational resources policy. It states anything that emphasizes sexualized desire rather than legitimate educational objectives will be deemed inappropriate and shall not be displayed or used in instruction. The Parent Alliance calls the policy tantamount to a ban on 2S LGBTQ+ content. While that policy is staying in place for now, the Education Minister says she expects health clinicians and counselors to follow the law and provide confidential health care to anyone over the age of 16. Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Steinbach.
All right, Riley, back in, and it is still officially spring.
Yep.
We should note that. We don't.
Few more days.
Just a couple more days. We started with that really warm summer-like temperatures a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now we're more seasonal and that cooler weather. But now everybody wants to know when that heat's coming back.
Yeah, now everyone wants the heat to come back. And spoiler alert, which I'll get into here, it's going to take us a little while to get back there. So I'll start with the 10-day temperature trend. This gives us a sense of where we're heading. And as I've been saying for the last day or so here, we are seeing things remain below seasonal as we get through the next week at least here. So you can see as we get through the weekend, temperatures low 20s at 20 into Monday, but then we start to climb a bit more by the time we get to the end of the month. So by the time we get to, say, Canada Day, which is just on the very, very end off the screen here, we'll be closer to or just above seasonal for this time of the year. We're stuck in a pretty deep trough in the jet stream here, and this is a pattern that's going to remain locked in place here. So you can see this trough digging well south into the U.S. Midwest, and really this pattern just kind of holds in place. There's nothing really in behind this to help push it out until we get into next week. Then you'll start to see by the time we get into the middle of the week, a bit of a ridge starting to form in the jet stream, and this will be some of that warmth starting to push northward into Canada, and we'll see this pushing eastward by the time we get to the end of next week. So a little while before we get back to seasonal temperatures, but things, a bit cooler, but not cold for this time of the year, a couple degrees off seasonal. In terms of any precipitation, looking at the potential for at least a little bit more organized precipitation as we get through the day Friday. So this is first thing in the morning. You can see more of that shower activity into parts of western Manitoba, into the Red River Valley. Prepare for something perhaps a little bit more dreary than we saw today across much of the province. We'll be in and out of the showers a little bit more often, I think, through the day tomorrow. And then we'll start to tap into some drier air building to the west that does remain cooler than seasonal, but is at least a little bit brighter as we get through Saturday into Sunday before another system I'm watching on the horizon that will impact us by the middle of next week. So looking at the potential, really not much unless you get under an isolated thunderstorm or so, then maybe tack a little bit more on in terms of rainfall, but pretty general 5 millimeters or so when you get under one of those showers across southern parts of the province. Where I am looking at some measurable precipitation continuing will be into northeastern Manitoba, where some places, Shamattawa, Gillam, 10 to 15 millimeters, not out of the question as we get through the next couple of days. So here's a snapshot into the afternoon tomorrow. Temperatures around 16s for Dauphin, Swan River, 17 for Brandon, 18s, 19s through the Red River Valley. And this trend continues through the weekend. Saturday, 21 degrees, 22 for Sunday. A lot going on. There's a bit of a snapshot for you there, Brittany, and things remaining in the low 20s into next week.
All right. Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, we have much more ahead right after the break. Stay with us. The volunteer board of a Winnipeg community centre has given up control of the facility and handed it over to the city. The decision comes after years of complaints from some community members about management, which the board says has made their job increasingly difficult. CBC's Cameron McLean reports.
The South Winnipeg Community Centre Board says stepping aside is the best way to protect the organization and ensure programs continue uninterrupted. In a statement posted online, the board says, over time, the broader governance environment, including sustained public commentary and repeated challenges to board processes, has affected board continuity, contributed to earlier board and senior leadership resignations, and placed an unsustainable burden on volunteer leadership. The centre has faced scrutiny in recent years after some residents raised concerns about finances, staffing decisions, and board elections. An independent audit in 2024 found no evidence of financial wrongdoing. Laura Maisman with the General Council of Winnipeg Community Centres says they had no concerns about how the current board was operating.
And at no time did we see that there was any mismanagement or anything unfavorable happening. It's just been too much for the Community Centre Board.
Maisman says volunteers were increasingly dealing with criticism through social media, anonymous emails, and public disputes. But some community members say some questions remain unanswered. Deepak Walia is a former sports convener who was later banned by the board for alleged harassment, a decision he is challenging with the General Council. He'd like the city to take a closer look at what happened over the past 2 years.
They have to be made accountable for all the lapses which they have done. They have to be made accountable for all the difficult situations they have brought to the community centre.
St. Norbert Seine River councillor Marcus Chambers says he understands frustrations on both sides.
They did everything that they could to demonstrate that they were being accountable, being open, being transparent, but the community felt that there was more that should have been uncovered.
For now, programs, services, and community rentals are all expected to continue as normal while the city takes over governance of the community centre until it can hand over authority to a new board. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The federal government has received a new report about medical assistance in dying. It's from a special parliamentary committee that reviewed the upcoming expansion of MAID to include people with mental illnesses. But a majority of the group says that should never happen. Olivia Stefanovich reports.
Today is a good day.
On the very day medical assistance in dying was legalized in Canada a decade ago, conservatives say this is as far as MAID should go.
This expansion of MAID for mental illness should never have gone forward in the first place.
In fact, a new report tabled in Parliament by a special joint committee urges the federal government amend the criminal code to indefinitely exclude people from MAID solely on the basis of mental illness.
The number of people who do not get better is very small.
The recommendation backed by the committee's Liberal Joint Chair and members.
It wasn't allowed beforehand. We're continuing to not allow it to happen.
But MAID for mental illness is scheduled to take effect next March after 2 previous delays. And for those hoping to access it, 3 years of waiting.
I'm worried. I'm worried about myself.
Claire Brasso struggles with several mental disorders, including bipolar, substance use, and post-traumatic stress. She spent years advocating for MAID to be an option.
I think we should have equal rights in this country.
We're not moving forward on this issue. We're actually moving backwards.
3 senators wrote a dissenting opinion, recommending the government ask Canada's top court to have the final say.
We need to really deal with the legal issues. Why are some people's charter rights being denied?
Part of the public trust of what MAID is for is that it's supposed to be for a medical condition that somebody is suffering from unbearably that will not improve.
When it comes to mental illness, many medical professionals told the committee they can't say that for certain.
There's been precision modeling showing that when we try to predict even something like treatment-resistant depression as being irremediable, the accuracy in that study that looked at it was 47%. You literally would be better off with a coin flip.
Justice Minister Sean Fraser is taking the lead on the government's response. He says he's going to take the time necessary to fully understand the committee's recommendations and do his own engagement. A decision could come within the next few weeks. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
Some new Canadians recently granted citizenship certificates received shocking news in recent days. The federal government wants them to surrender the documents. As Alexander Silberman shows us, it's leaving their plans for a new life in Canada in limbo.
American Valerie Campbell was excited to receive her Canadian citizenship certificate back in March, with hopes of fleeing the political climate in the U.S. She's one of more than 4,000 people granted citizenship under Bill C-3. Nicknamed the Lost Canadians Act, it opened the door for people with Canadian ancestors to apply for citizenship.
Everything I've been doing has been headed in that direction, selling my house.
Ready to leave her main home for the Maritimes, Campbell got an unexpected letter from Ottawa over the weekend, asking for her citizenship certificate to be returned.
It was a complete and total shock.
In a notice sent to an undisclosed number of people, the federal government told recipients they may not be entitled to hold a Canadian certificate of citizenship. It says documentation is not from the original source, and it will conduct a thorough review to determine if the certificate should be canceled.
There's no transparency with what's going on. People are afraid.
Opposition critics say the sudden suspensions impact people who made plans to relocate.
Now all of a sudden be in a limbo situation, and that cannot be acceptable.
Just because you have a Canadian ancestor.
The immigration minister says the government has been clear.
Each applicant must link their ancestry generation per generation through verified, authenticated documents.
Immigration lawyers say people under review are still Canadian citizens, and they'll have a chance to present more evidence.
Something has occurred somewhere in the process, and there's a reason that they're looking into this further.
The federal government won't say how many letters were issued. It says the review is a necessary measure to protect the integrity of citizenship and public confidence in the process. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Montreal.
The Memorandum of Understanding between the U.S. and Iran to end their conflict is now signed and in effect. Now the difficult part begins, a 60-day negotiating period to work out the details. Some lawmakers in Israel, which continues its fighting in Lebanon against Iran-backed Hezbollah, have trashed the agreement. That's prompted a rebuke from U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance.
Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time. And he happens to be the head of state of the world superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world.
The 14 points laid out in the U.S.-Iran MOU include the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, a pause in all fighting, including between Israel and Hezbollah, a lifting of sanctions on Iranian oil, and a $300 billion plan for Iran's reconstruction. Trump insists this memorandum ensures Iran will never make or buy a nuclear weapon. Ukraine has launched a huge drone attack on Russia, its largest since its invasion of Ukraine 4 years ago. Hundreds of drones targeted the Moscow area, but take a look at this. The moment one of them hit an oil refinery, sending its roof soaring into the air and triggering a series of explosions just 15 kilometers from the Kremlin. The thick black smoke also disrupted flights in and out of the capital. The attack is part of a wider Ukrainian campaign to cripple Russia's oil industry. The World Cup is bringing joy to fans around the globe, but there's a new regulation this year that has fans crying foul. Thomas Degg explains.
In Toronto, fans endured the rain, celebrating Ghana's win well into the night. A soggy, windy match that had crowds at the stadium booing, loudly protesting the World Cup's new mandatory hydration breaks. A move that has fans wondering whether FIFA was motivated by money.
I like the idea of them
when the weather is actually hot. It felt pointless yesterday.
It was raining at the time, and we felt they were completely unnecessary.
With the tournament co-hosted by some sweltering southern cities, FIFA announced each match would be stopped twice for player safety, with 3-minute hydration breaks added midway through each half.
It changes the character of each half quite significantly because it gives you the chance to regroup.
But England supporters also booed when their match was paused, even in an air-conditioned stadium. And some broadcasters have filled the stoppage in play by cutting to commercials.
He's probably making some more money for FIFA. Hydration break turned into a commercial break.
Every time going to commercial is a bit, not really that I like it. And I think for the neutral watchers on TV, it's also not great.
At one match, fans spotted an official holding up the game, seemingly until the TV ad break was over. Critics call it the Americanization of soccer, splitting matches into 4 quarters, NFL style, instead of allowing tension to build through each 45-minute half.
It's okay. You can use the bathroom, I guess, quickly. Bathroom break.
FIFA has only confirmed the hydration breaks will go on for every game this tournament. There's no word yet on future events, like next year's Women's World Cup in Brazil. Thomas Dagg, CBC News, Toronto.
E-bikes are gaining popularity, but concerns about how fast they can go has sparked cries for more rules. One Manitoba city has brought in new legislation. We'll tell you where after the break. E-bikes and e-scooters are fast and efficient modes of transportation that rules and regulations are struggling to keep up with. In Winnipeg, officials are still determining what bylaw changes might make sense. But in the city of Morden, they have some very specific new rules in place for personal electric vehicles. While not following them can get you a $50 fine, the city's police chief says that isn't the goal. His team is focused on safety and education. He says they took that approach, and he spoke earlier.
Rules that we have are mandatory helmets for the riders of these e-scooters or the PEVs. Only one rider permitted at a time. Not to be riding on sidewalks, and riding as close as possible to the right-hand curb, similar to a bicycle would be. And then generally just the other rules are just to obey all the other traffic laws and rules, and then just for proper equipment and lighting if you're going to be driving these at nighttime. That's basically the 6.
All right. So what safety concerns kind of prompted this new bylaw? What were police seeing in Morden?
Well, I think we saw the shocking part was some of the really young riders and how fast these things could go, and just that there was no helmets being used, and it was kind of known that these were unregulated and there was no laws regarding them. So that's kind of what prompted us to think we should probably do something with just safety in mind, especially for the youth.
With young people using these PEVs, are there any age restrictions included in the bylaw?
No, we didn't go with age restrictions at this point. We thought let's just go safety. Let's go with those helmets, where they should be driving, because really up until this point, right, they weren't really being told where to go or where to ride. So we thought let's just start with that stuff first.
With that, is there any concern that some young folks might not know all of the rules of the road? I know that's one of the bylaws is to follow just the general rules of the road, but I imagine kids who haven't yet been in driver's ed might not be aware of all of those rules.
Yeah, that's correct. So what we thought here is, well, how can the police help out with this? So our education will begin with, we have a community resource officer who's embedded in our schools. And we thought we already do bicycle training, bicycle safety talks. So we thought, why don't we just incorporate this, and we'll start to teach them, and we'll get them the knowledge they need to know to get out there.
All right. Are you going to be in schools? I think there's a couple weeks left of school. Are you planning on being in schools in Morden these next 2 weeks?
Yeah, we are. We have those going, and that was our plan was to try to do it before summer hit, right? And we do see like a educational approach first to this. And just to get the message out there, get the rules out there, social media campaign. We appreciate you guys helping us get the message out there. And then also we're going to be looking for the parents here, right? This is a real community approach with our officers, our bylaw officer, and we're really looking for the parents here to help out if they see their young kids go off their driveway real quickly and without safety equipment. We're going to need them helping us out as well here.
There's the message for riders, but what about the messaging to the drivers of larger vehicles who will be sharing the road now with these PEVs?
Yeah, that also crossed our mind as well too. If we get a consistent message across where we expect these electric scooters or these PEVs to be driving, it helps them as well too, right? To be on the lookout for them. Anyone that's driven a motorcycle before knows that it's hard to see you on a motorcycle, let alone on these smaller pieces of equipment, and especially with smaller people, right? So hopefully that this is going to be everybody working together here to keep it safe.
Now, these rules were created specifically for the city of Morden. Why do you think it's important that cities and towns set their own rules with e-bikes and e-scooters and don't just follow a general template here?
Yeah, so when we were researching some of this, we noticed there had been some larger cities that have already gone into this bylaw mode. What we found was that there's quite a difference between urban traffic and using these as commuter vehicles. But when you come to the rural side of it, there are streets and there are places where these really could be used, and we believe in a safe manner too. So we thought, we'll tailor this and we'll try to make an approach work for our city and what works for us.
How will this new bylaw be enforced? Are police cruisers going to be pulling over scooters?
No, that's kind of where we're going to go with let's start with the educational part of it. Generally, we have a high compliance out here. So we'll just take it step by step. And There are fines that can be issued through our bylaw, through our ticketing system, but obviously revenue and that that's not really our goal here. Just compliance and safety is kind of just what we're going to go for here.
All right, for those wondering, it is a flat fee fine of $50, but they did say really the goal is safety and education.
Yeah.
So put your helmet on.
Yeah, especially as the weather warms up, more folks are outside.
Yes.
Always great to get outside.
It is busy out there these days.
Some fresh air in as well. Good for the pups as well, and any pets, I guess.
Right.
Let's take a look at your dog walking forecast. And tonight we have someone who loves to make a lot of new friends. This is Trip. Thank you, Emma, for sending this picture. And by the way, Trip, 3-year-old red border collie who loves people in general and kids in particular. So if you happen upon Trip in your travels, I'm sure he'll be very friendly. Talkback at cbc.ca. Please keep sending your pets to me. Love seeing them from every corner of the province. And your dog walk tomorrow, likely to be a little bit wet at times across the province. Looking at scattered showers pushing through, a little bit more organized than we saw today. So prepare for something, as I was saying a little earlier in the show, a little bit more dreary as we get through the day. And that north wind gusting up to 30, could see some rogue gusts up to 40 or even 50 at times today, but generally prepare for a bit of a breezy one tomorrow. Really across Western Canada, temperatures sitting below seasonal for this time of the year. 17s through Edmonton, Calgary, into the 30s for Denver at 31 degrees. And even into parts of Southern Ontario, temperatures sitting below seasonal. So that trend, not just us here in Manitoba, across much of the country sitting below seasonal. You can kind of see where the jet stream kind of cuts across parts of the northern states. Bismarck, 23, Minneapolis at 22. In case you're wondering, record for this day was set back in 1995. This is actually a warm stretch that we were in 1995. 36 degrees. The record from yesterday was also 1995. Didn't check tomorrow's. We'll see where we get when we get there as we get toward the weekend here. Your overnight temperatures around 10 degrees across southern Manitoba. Scattered showers moving in. Generally looking at cloud building in as well as we get through the overnight hours. Northern Manitoba looking at 3 degrees in Gillam. The potential again along the Hudson Bay coast of seeing some fog overnight. 1 in Churchill, 8 in Flin Flon with some scattered showers. And really looking at scattered showers pushing through northern Manitoba through the day tomorrow. Not to say you won't see some peaks of sunshine for places like Grand Rapids, the Pas through OCN, but a bit more organized precipitation pushing through Gillam into Thompson through the day tomorrow at 12 degrees in Thompson. And in southern Manitoba, again, not like we won't see some peaks of sunshine here and there, but the trend being something a little bit soggier as we get through the day tomorrow. 17s and 18s through the west, and looking at 18s and 19s, Brittany, as we get through the day into eastern Manitoba. Your 7 days just ahead.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Sky-high ticket prices are forcing fans to be more selective with where they spend their money. And some insiders say that's leading to canceled or scaled-back tours. The CBC's Griffin Yeager has more on a phenomenon called Blue Dot Fever and what it could mean for the concert landscape going forward.
I'm going to say what everybody's thinking. I had to change venues for my show due to low ticket sales.
Longtime Canadian indie artist Jeremy Fisher isn't the only one dealing with it. And you've probably noticed it too if you bought concert tickets lately. Those blue dots symbolizing unsold seats on ticket sales. Fans even have a name for it. Blue Dot Fever. This was Post Malone's Toronto seat map just hours before showtime.
We're seeing that more and more tours, especially bigger tours, are not selling out.
The Pussycat Dolls canceled all but one North American show this year, saying they took an honest look. Post Malone, Meghan Trainor, and more canceled shows too, citing other reasons, but experts say the root of the problem is the price tag.
Fans are actually now trying to decide who they're going to see because they spend a lot of money on Rush. That doesn't leave them a lot of money to go, say, see Oasis.
According to data from Polestar, from 2019 to 2025, the average ticket price for a top 100 World Tour concert went up about 37%. And higher prices come with expensive expectations.
They want to see the choreography. They want to see the pyrotechnics.
The production value is way better. It's much larger
the staging is more impressive, and all of that costs money.
SeatGeek and StubHub told CBC News demand for concerts is still high, especially for large shows and festivals, but fans say they're spending more selectively.
I have to pick and choose on how many concerts I go to.
I've wanted to see other celebrities and I can't afford it.
This is the first concert I've gone in years.
Industry observers worry it's changing the concert landscape.
My fear is that it's going to become something that only, the people with a lot of money can afford on both sides.
But she hopes there might be a silver lining, that fans start to make room for smaller artists in local venues too. Griffin Yeager, CBC News, Toronto.
Still ahead, the resilience of refugees, how some newcomers are being celebrated. Plus, Riley's back with a last check on our forecast. Stay with us. World Refugee Day is meant to honor the millions of people around the globe who've been forcibly displaced and uprooted. And ahead of June 20th, many of those who now call Winnipeg home gathered to be together. A free community celebration took over Central Park, recognizing the strength, culture, and contributions of newcomers and their resilience. It's a diverse group, many forced to flee their homes because of conflict, violence, or persecution. One former refugee, who's now a lawyer here, says she likely wouldn't be alive had her family stayed in Iraq.
I wouldn't be where I am if Canada didn't bring me here. We were government-assisted refugees. I might not even be alive at all because we left Iraq before the 2003 invasion by the U.S. and many people that we know didn't make it who were still in the camps.
She says Canada has an obligation to keep helping refugees.
All right, here is a look at your 7-day forecast, and we are looking at things remaining below seasonal across much of the province as we get through the next few days here. So tomorrow, looking at considerable cloudiness, risk of isolated thunderstorms, particularly in the west again, but prepare for a dreary day tomorrow, 21 for Saturday, a bit brighter through the weekend once again. Lots happening on Sunday, first day of summer, National Indigenous Peoples Day, the Manitoba Marathon, and Father's Day. So hopefully we get some sunshine for all of those events. 22 degrees for Sunday, and things staying in the low to mid 20s by the time we get to the middle of next week. I have one weather picture for you tonight. Thank you, Lynn, for sending this in of the sunrise from Crescentwood. You can send your pictures to talkback@cbc.ca. I love a pop of color.
Yes, and a very busy Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. There's an unlikely star in Mexico City for the World Cup.
And this guy ain't ducking around. Here's your daily lift.
Okay, so this is Merlin, who is a domesticated duck, all decked out, as you can see, in an L-tree jersey. He's owned by a local street merchant.
The waterfowl is going viral on social media after an outing in the streets where he appeared to pick Mexico over South Korea ahead of their matchup tomorrow by pecking a Mexican flag.
Merlin's owner says the attention comes as a complete surprise, and she's very pleased that he's being embraced as the tournament's unofficial mascot.
Well, hopefully Merlin just picks Canada to win the whole thing.
How long till we get Merlin stuffies? I'd buy that.
Right? Have a wonderful night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.